Hello guys, what's up? Welcome to the new tutorial from the SketchUp Studio. Today I'm going to show you how you can model some simple house like this in SketchUp, very simple and easy, and how you can create exterior realistic renders in the daylight with the Enscape. So this tutorial related to the modeling and rendering. I'm going to select simple meter template for my 3D modeling, and SketchUp will start for me few seconds later. And this is the simple environment that we have in here, very simple and easy. It's related to the SketchUp 2023, and I use it for my all projects usually. So this is the house we have in here. I download this picture from the internet related to the unknown architecture project. So I'm going to start my job with the rectangle. I want to draw some rectangle with some dimension about 12, 12 and press enter. Our height is something about 8 or 9 meter. I'm going to type 8 meter right now. I'm going to look at the picture. If we calculate the doors and interior of the house, something about 3 meter, maybe another part about 6 meter, and totally 9 meter. So I prefer to click on the extrude option and extrude it about 9 meter in here. From the downside, I'm going to take one copy about 3 meter, a little thin edge for the separator, something about maybe 12 or 6 centimeter, and I'm gonna create this balcony and the wall cover for my architectural project. So I'm gonna use tape measure about 0.22, draw some line about maybe 3 meter, and 2.6 meters to the right side, and to the upside we have these number again. Now I can click on the extrude option and extrude it completely to the backward. And now I want to create the balcony, but I don't know how. For this reason, as you can see in the picture, we have some type of offset and balcony in here. So I'm going to play with numbers several times to reach to the best result. I'm going to click on the offset option and take some offset about maybe 26 centimeter. I can take it a little bit to the downside, about 0.2, and now I can extrude it to this place about maybe 1 meter, and this is my final result. But I can make these walls a little bit thicker than the usual. So I'm going to click on the extrude option and extrude it about 0.22 meter. I want to repeat this number for other parts of the balcony related to this place, and now it's down for me. So I'm going to convert it to the group option in here. Now I want to draw some left side and right side walls in this place. I'm going to draw some wall about 3 meter height, and I'm going to use the extrude option and extrude them like this, very simple and easy. 5 meter in here, I'm going to click on it, make it to the group option, and move it a little bit in this place. So I'm going to click on these image in here. I want to create these doors but with some different pattern and design. So I'm going to use some components. Totally we have some dimension about 12 meter. For the 12 meter, I prefer to use 4 times of the 3 to 3 door panels. So I'm going to type 3, 3 and enter. Now I can convert it to the component and press create option. So I'm gonna take another copy about 3 times. Now I can extrude all of them at the same time. Very simple and easy. So some number about maybe 6 centimeter can be good. Now I want to use the offset job in here, and I wanna use the tape measure like this, very simple and easy. So I'm going to draw some type of rectangle in here about some dimension related to your taste and what you want. So I'm going to click on the line option, draw some line about maybe 2 centimeters, can be a little bit low for this type of thing. Some number about maybe 9 centimeter can be really good. I'm going to use the rotate copy option and take some copies like this. Very simple and easy. So now I'm going to delete all of these tape measures in here and delete these line too. I'm going to delete all of these extra lines in here. And now I'm going to select these faces and take some different copies on the green or red axis. So I'm going to take first copy about 66 centimeter for the 3 times, and another time I'm going to select these faces and take another copy on the blue axis about 3 times. So I'm going to take these copies. Alright, now as you can see, this is the final result of our job. I'm going to extrude this edge a little bit more than the past, something like that. And I'm going to use the rectangle for creating my sidewalk and use the scale option in here for rescaling it like this. So I'm going to use the extrude option and create my sidewalk like that and make it to the group option and move it in here. So I can extrude it a little bit to the downside with some different numbers, and the width of it is not really important. So I'm going to select all of these things and coordinate them to the origin point. And now I'm gonna click on the start Enscape in here. So till now we only modeled this house in this place. If you like this video, please subscribe our YouTube channel. Thanks for your time and thanks for your watching. And comment your opinion about SketchUp and Enscape 3D modeling, 3D rendering abilities. So I'm gonna convert my shot to the 2-point perspective in the Enscape in here. And as you can see, I'm going to minimize these two windows with each other. So I'm going to use Enscape material library online, and I'm going to start my job with the plaster for the exterior facade design. As you can see, some type of plaster or construct we have in here. I'm going to use the plaster for good displacements that it has. So I'm going to click on it, download it, and press close option. So when I click on the paint bucket in SketchUp, the plaster number 1 will load for me. So now I'm going to add it to my environment, very simple and easy, to the bodies, faces, and scene edges. So as you can see, it takes a little bit time, so be patient for reaching to the best result in this tutorial. So this is the final view of the facade we have in here, and about the balcony we have some type of coral or tomato color. So I'm going to use another plaster for the balcony with better displacement. I think plaster number 6 is really good, and I'm going to download it. So I'm going to press close and add these material in my environment. Alright, don't worry about your color. You can change colors very simple and easy in SketchUp. About these door panels, or these sidewalks, actually we have some type of hard rock stone texture. So I'm going to click on the material library again. This time I'm going to click on the pavements and select pavement number 5 and import selection. As you can see, I select these material because it's really realistic and like the nature material for the walls and other things in it. So for the other things like the door panels, I want to use some simple color like the tomato color, or I can use some light pink color. It completely depends on you and your design taste. So I'm going to click on the Enscape material library. We have lots of materials. So I'm going to come back to the pavement and use pavement number 1 for the sidewalk and close it. So I'm going to add it to the sidewalk in here and all the materials done for me. I'm going to select asphalt texture from the SketchUp texture library and add it to my environment. Alright, everything is done right now. We only want to take some realistic render from these models. So I'm gonna purge all of the unused materials and textures to make my environment much clearer. So this is the environment that we have in here. I'm gonna close this photo in this place and I'm gonna start my job. First of all, for the realistic rendering, I must check the sun position. I hold Ctrl and U or I for creating this sun direction very simple and easy. And I can hold Shift and right click cursor for making the time of the day very simple. I think some number about 9 a.m. can be really good, so I prefer to use these type of numbers right now. And now I'm gonna start my job with materializing. I start with the plaster or plaster number 6 about the balcony. Tint color. I want to change tint color to the salmon. And it's really like the picture we have in here. And increase the intensity near to the 200. I prefer to use 190% and decrease the roughness for a better reflection. But you can increase it to make it much realistic. And the aspect ratio is about 54%. So plaster is about some type of tint color related to the dim gray or Gainsborough. And I want to see more details about displacement. So I'm going to increase the intensity of the normal map to the 200%. And I can remove the texture for some results and turn the roughness number from 90% to some number about 54%. Now it's much brighter and we have better reflection on the surfaces. About the spectral, 44% is really good. And now I'm going to click on the pavement 05. It's related to the left side and right side of the house. First of all, I'm going to increase the texture size 4 meter to 4 meter and intensity related to the 100, maybe 100, 144%, something like that. And I want to don't remove the texture for the roughness and spectral about maybe some number related to the 22%. So for the tint color, I need a little bit darker. So I can use the tint colors like the dim gray to change it completely to some dark color. And pavement number 1, first of all, I'm going to increase the intensity about 156, for example, or 155, and change the texture size to the 2 meter, 2.4, 2.4, and now it's much better. And everything is good right now, so I'm gonna only change the doors material very simple and easy. It's related to the light pink, I think. So I'm gonna select light pink from my materials and some type of black color like that, some type of white color like that. It completely depends on your designing and employer. So I want to decrease the roughness because I need some type of metallica color, and the spectra is about 10, but metallica, I want to increase the metallica to convert it to some type of metal material. Some number about 50% can be really good. And change it to some type of dark color like that. Or I can change it to some type of salmon color like this. And change the roughness to some number about 66 to see better results of my job and color. So materializing is over. Now I want to click on the window and purge unused materials and fix problems and OK. So I'm going to delete this tomato because we don't have this type of material in our environment. So now time for the rendering settings. For this reason, I'm going to click on the visual setting in here, output, and change my resolution to the custom mode, and some number about 9020 to the 9020 is good. So I'm going to click on the save frame, and this is the portrait equal 1:1 aspect ratio save frame we have in here. So I'm going to start my job with the clouds. I'm going to turn all of them to the 0 because I need some clear sky for my render. And I want to use the source about white cubes to simulate the city and urban design. Alright, something like that. And the atmosphere, I don't want any type of fog, and it's good for me right now. So when I decrease the field of view, I can zoom into my model, and it's really simple job in Enscape, and it really works wonderful. Some number about 50-degree horizontal can be really good, and I'm gonna increase the exposure to see better results. But as you can see, I want to fix my sun direction, so I'm gonna hold Ctrl and U, and now I'm gonna click on the visual setting. About the outline, a little bit outline can be helps you to separate your edges from the faces. So when I turn off the auto exposure, we have some light like this, and it's not realistic. So I will check it. And exposure about 54%. I turn on the depth of field and play with the focal point to reach to the better result about focusing and flowing. Alright, something like that can be really good for our job. Something like this. And it's about 12%. So I'm going to turn on the auto contrast, and now the result is much better. I want to increase the saturation a little bit to see the differences and displacement map textures on my render. And some number about 140% is really good. Color temperature can be reduced to the some number related to the 5600 Kelvin, and motion blur is 0, lens flare 0, bloom 0, and vignette. If you want to create some type of black shadows on your frame of the rendering, you can increase the vignette. So in this case, I'm going to use some number about 36%, and chromatic abbreviation is 0. In atmosphere, I can increase the sun brightness. So when I increase the sun brightness, the sky gets bluer. But you can reduce it to some normal number about 70%. And when I add it to the 70%, you can see the final result, very simple and easy. Shadow sharpness. Look at these places in here. When I increase the shadow sharpness, as you can see, we have some sharp line in here. And when I decrease it, I have better results. I prefer to decrease it right now. Artificial light brightness is not important, and ambient brightness is not important too. So I'm going to close it in here, and now I'm going to turn off the save frame and turn my fold of view to the 90 again. So I have some simple works in here. I start my job with the asset library, and I want to click on the categories in this place and change it to the vegetation. As you can see, from the tags, I'm going to check the trees option in here, and I want to use some type of green trees for my environment. So I'm going to search for these three, very simple and easy, and I want to select one of these trees like that and add it to my environment and press apply changes. As you can see, it takes a little bit time because it depends on your network speed, but finally you can achieve to your target. So I'm gonna select this tree in here, move it and hold it in this place. Another time I'm gonna take another copy for the right side like that. And now I want to select both trees in here and move them and take another copy on the red axis. So I'm going to select this and change it in here and here. So now I want to turn my camera back to my main view and camera shot. So these type of render can be really architectural because you can show to your audience or employer the power of camera setting. So I want to reduce the field of view to the 50-degree horizontal, and I want some type of shot like this, as you can see. So I'm going to convert it to the 2-point perspective in here, and the leaves is good. I can reduce the field of view a little bit to the 56 degree to see wider screen in my render. And this is my final shot. We have problem with these trees in here. Don't worry. You can click on these three in this place and move it a little bit in here or a little bit in this place. Now it's much better. So for the final steps, I'm going to add some type of objects like the motorcycle and people in my camera shot. So I'm going to change it to the vehicle. I'm going to use bike or bicycle. I prefer to use some type of motorcycle in here and add it to my environment. Some architectural rendering point is that you must set your objects to the right side or left side because your main target is your house and your exterior design, and it always must be empty. So I'm going to apply changes on it, and now I'm going to click on the selection, select my motorcycle and recolor it to the white color because you can see it much better than the dark colors. And now I'm gonna change my category from the vehicle to the people, and I'm gonna use female who standing or walking. So I prefer to use standing things in here like that. And now I'm gonna use one of these personage and peoples for my render. Because we have some hot and dry weather in this place, you can use some type of people with wearing white colors. For example, I'm gonna search, no, something like that is not good. I want some personage with some white wearing clothes. So I'm gonna search for it in the Enscape asset library, and it takes a little bit time. So as you can see, maybe something like that can be really good, and I want to apply changes. So I'm gonna click on the selection in the Enscape asset library, select this personage, and rotate it a little bit on the green direction, and move it near to the house, something like that, and apply changes. This is my final result in here, so I'm going to close the Enscape asset library, and I think everything is good right now. So only work related to the rendering. I'm going to turn off the save frame, changing the resolution in the output box to the maximum resolution of the Ultra HD rendering 3840 resolution. Aspect ratio is 1, and I want to turn on the save frame. As you can see, this is the final power of the Enscape in this place. So I can manage the depth of field and focal point for my render. So it depends on your system. I prefer to use some rendering quality like the Ultra, but you can use some rendering quality like the high mode or medium mode. So I fix my focal point setting in here right now, and I think it can be reduced to the 16%. So I'm going to close it. Now I'm going to click on the screenshot button in here and save it as the JPG or PNG on my desktop. So I'm going to press save. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Thanks for your watching. Thanks for your time. Please subscribe our YouTube channel because creating these type of contents are really hard and difficult for creators. So we are always trying to create best useful tutorials for the Enscape users and SketchUp users, and this is the final result in here. Thanks for your watching and goodbye.